Let's see, is this working? I think it is. Hello, everybody. Still setting things up a little bit, trying to get everything together over here. So you gotta bear with me. Trying to get TikTok up. I've been having people go into my TikTok page. Where is my... There it is. I don't want to watch anything. I just want to go live. There we go. All right. So, hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Jason Akers with Green Akers Pest Control here. Trying to answer your questions about bugs and stuff. So, we had a poll on YouTube, and I want to go over it here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's close that. All right. Wow. Holy cow. 120 votes. That's crazy. Man, I think that's the most I've ever gotten on a poll before from my YouTube channel. Let me see if I can actually get it loaded up here so I can actually see the results. Let's see, YouTube. There's that. Let's go to my channel. So if you're interested, like the video. If you like what I'm doing live, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe. So let's see. All right. Let's show you what it is here. Let's share this. That didn't work. That did not work. Is there a problem with my screen share? Let's see. Properties. Done. There we go. There's my screen. All right. So I asked a question. In pest control, it's common for a customer to hire out a pest control business to replace existing services for one reason or another. Or a service, whatever. The question for today's poll is, what bug do I get, me, Jason, do I get the most calls on when another exterminator has failed? Answers is Thursday night, live. So I want to go over that tonight. I want to talk about what... So 23%, 120 people have voted. 23% says roaches, 4% says ants, 53% bed bugs, 13% fleas, 7% roaches. Those are the questions. Let me get to this real quick. Kenji gave me $10. Thank you for taking a look at my picture last night, even though I didn't send it on Twitter. You know, Twitter's a pretty neat place to send and receive pictures and stuff, but honestly, I think most people send me pictures through Facebook. So, you can always send it that way too. If you know how to use Facebook Messenger, you can send it there. I've pretty much eliminated Facebook from all of my apps on my phone. I don't get any notifications through Facebook. I hate Facebook, and I just finally just decided to pull the plug. I don't use it at all anymore. So Danielle says, I got a question for you when you got a minute. Anytime. I got plenty of minutes. James says, since you told me to start using Alpine WC for fleas a few months back ago, I haven't had a single callback. I know, it's great. It's fantastic. The only time I get callbacks for fleas is typically reinfestation issues where people haven't treated their pets like they should. Maybe they didn't properly prepare the house where I couldn't get the whole floor treated like I needed to. And those are usually the only times I ever get callbacks for fleas. I only typically get maybe 1 or 2 callbacks a year for fleas. Are you staying on an hour? I am going to do the best I can, James. I can't promise anything at all. My newborn, he is 2.5 weeks. And so sometimes my wife needs me a lot to help take care of him, but I'm here for as long as I can be here. But anyway, I want to get to this question because I thought this would probably throw a lot of people off because my channel is about bed bugs. I understand a lot about how to eliminate bed bugs. I understand a lot about what to do, how to kill them, how to get rid of them. and all that good stuff. And I talk to people, I train people, but actually, I get fewest callbacks from bed bugs. So where people said, 53% people hire me from failed exterminators. Actually, well, callbacks, we're not talking callbacks. We're talking about getting hired from other exterminators. Bed bugs is probably about third on the list. Even though everyone here voted 53%, that's actually third on the list. The second on the list where people have failed are typically fleas. Fleas are usually or rodents. Fleas and rodents are probably about dead heat for second place. And the number one thing that I replace other exterminators is ants. The least amount of votes, actually, I get calls on ants all the time. I have people call and switch to me as an exterminator pretty regularly for ant control. It's my wife, was like, you need to ask that question because people will think it's bed bugs because I talk about bed bugs all the time. And I do go behind a lot of exterminators for failed heat treatments, failed chemical treatments all the time. But actually the number one thing that I get the most leads from other exterminators are ants. And so, and I was going to go over that tonight if anyone's interested. But yes, I said I would give the answer tonight, but yes, ants are. In fact, my son reminded me yesterday, he said that there was actually a customer that I did in town in Lynchburg where he actually became a mouse customer. He didn't call me because of, he fired the old exterminator because they couldn't get rid of his ants. That's the main reason he fired him. But he actually hired me because he had a horrible rat problem. He was getting rats in the house from outside. And when I went in and I noticed that he had ants all over the kitchen, I said, well, do you want me to go ahead and treat your kitchen for ants? And he said, I've had the same exterminator for over 3 years and they've been coming out here. And he said, you can try if you think you can, but I've lost all faith that I figured I'm just going to have these ants forever. And in 2 months, he had no more ants. And so he actually, last month when I went to his house, he said, I sing your praises to everybody because I've never known anybody that could kill ants like you. So I get a lot of ant calls, a lot. But ants are really bad everywhere. Ants are something, even people with bed bugs will typically get ants. Ants are something that gets in almost every home. At some point or another, everybody has typically battled ants, whether it was on a picnic or in their own home. It's something that people get all the time. And even if it's not in your own home, maybe it's in a rental house, maybe it's in a hotel room you've been in, but ants are something that typically everybody get. And it's one of the easiest things that I actually deal with. They're actually really easy to deal with. They're easier than probably anything on this list. But I have lost a lot of business to ants back years ago when they switched from diazinon to a couple of other pesticides. And hello, Tish from TikTok said hello to me. But yeah, I actually lost a lot of work. I lost several jobs in 1 year for ants because I couldn't kill ants. But since Alpine WSG, I've found that I've been able to get rid of ants a lot easier than I used to. And also, Samari, the pesticide itself, I'm not really too keen on. I don't think it's a very good pesticide. But the ant bait is phenomenal. I've had really good results with Samari ant bait in troublesome accounts. So anyway, that's that. I wanted to answer that on stream tonight because I said I would. And so, because I don't really do polls very often, but man, I had no idea 120 people would vote. That's crazy. But thank you very much for voting on that. And if you're interested, you can follow me on YouTube. Even people over on TikTok and everybody can follow me on YouTube. And I regularly post links on my YouTube community page with links to different, sales on pest control and TikTok videos and stuff that I post, which if for those of you that are interested, I actually do have a TikTok, which TikTokers know because TikTok. Everybody on TikTok's watching me right now. It's just fun to say TikTok. But I have a lot of my baby videos. So my wife just had a baby 2.5 weeks ago, and I will post some baby videos there on TikTok just because I think he's cute, and I don't want to post them on YouTube because YouTube's really for bug control, not really other stuff. And I've got jokes and things I put on TikTok too that I don't really put on YouTube. I don't share on YouTube, but I do put them on TikTok because TikTok's a better platform. And for those that are in the TikTok chat tonight, you guys know you can see all kind of crazy stuff on TikTok. It doesn't, it's just it's a pretty good place to just share all kinds of information and all kinds of things that you do. So anyway, let me get back to my questions over here on YouTube. Let's see. I haven't seen any bed bugs in about a month now. Should I continue to treat with the spray? I wouldn't if you don't have, I mean, why would you take an aspirin if you don't have a headache? If you don't have bed bugs, there's no reason to treat. Now, if you're just wanting to do a preventative, so I do have some customers. I had one lady who actually used to work as an auditor. She audited businesses. This is what she did for a living. It's the way she made her money. And she would travel to different areas in Virginia and sometimes even out of state because she worked for an auditing firm. And so she stayed in a lot of hotels. I actually did a treatment for her, preventative for bed bugs. I treated her house regularly once a month to try to keep the bed bugs down, because every now and then her business would put her into a hotel room that had bed bugs. And so preventative is not a bad idea. I usually recommend preventative pest control because preventative pest control is the most effective way to keep bed bugs away. And it really, as far as the pesticide, you could use just about anything preventative. And if you do start noticing bed bugs, you can always switch to a different chemical then. And you're going to get rid of things, not just bed bugs. You're going to keep ants, spiders, crickets, all kinds of bugs are going to stay out of your house because you are doing a preventative pest control plan, not just bed bugs. Because most people, honestly, who don't like bed bugs don't like any bugs. You know, I don't really care for any bugs in the house. I don't like spiders. I don't like ants. I don't like crickets. I don't like roaches. I don't like bed bugs. I don't like any kind of bugs in the house. And for those that don't know, I actually brought bed bugs home about a month ago into my own house. I actually did a video about it. I talked about it. And it's the only time. Now, everybody knows I'm one to brag. I've always bragged about how I've been in pest control for, bed bug control actually for over 20 years of my life. I've been dealing with bed bugs, and I've never, ever brought a bed bug home. And people ask me, it's like almost every weekend, people get on my chat and they're like, have you ever brought bed bugs? Are you ever afraid? Because they see these videos, like especially the ones I post on TikTok where I've got like bed bugs crawling everywhere. There's thousands of them. And they're like, have you ever brought them home, or do you ever worry about it? And I don't really worry about it. But I did. I did bring a bed bug home with me. I brought a nymph home by mistake in my bed on my pillow. I saw it about a month ago. And I treated with Crossfire. I haven't had any since. But what happened was, it was the one house in over 20 years, the only house. All right, so I went in there. I didn't think I was going to bring bed bugs home. I didn't get any on my uniform. I didn't have any on my shirt, none on my jacket, none on my pants, nowhere. And I came home. Normally, I come in through the basement door, which the basement door is like behind me, like over in that corner over there. And I come in that way. I throw my clothes in the washing machine. I start my laundry. And I go upstairs, I take a shower. Okay, that's my routine. It's the only time in over 20 years that I didn't do that, because I didn't think the bed bugs were that serious. And these are the ones that'll get you. It's always the people you don't expect that have bed bugs. It's always the places you don't think of that have bed bugs. And this is what happened to me. So I brought one home, and my wife found it. Actually, we had two in the bed. And my wife is the one that found them. They were biting her. They weren't biting me. And so I had to take everything apart. It's right before my baby was born. Like I said, he's only 2.5 weeks old. This was maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the baby was born. And I had to take everything apart. My wife is pregnant. You know how women get when they're right. I'm not going to say she was big as a house, because that would be rude. But she was pregnant, very pregnant. And so I had to go through, I had to take all the covers, all the sheets, all the comforters, everything off the bed. I had to treat all the mattresses, all the box springs, every bed in the house, couches, love seats, everything in the house had to get treated just like I would anybody else's house. And it was absolutely upside down for about 3 days because of doing all the laundry I had to do. And I did get rid of my bedbug problem. I haven't had any since, but I treated everything just like I normally would. Me and my son went through, took all the beds apart. It was crazy. But anyway, let's see. Interesting. I had a couple of the others. Let's see. I'm sure you're exhausted between work and the newborn. I'm grateful for any amount of time you have. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be here as long as I can. I'm gonna try. Let's see. What's wrong with my microphone? I mean, my camera. That is really blurry. There we go. Autofocus is crap. But yeah, but I'm going to try to be here as long as I can. Like I said, my wife has the baby upstairs. If she texts me at any time and she needs me upstairs, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to get off of here. But she said she's good for now. She's done fed the baby. The baby's sleeping, so hopefully I've got a little bit of time here. Um, Danielle says, I'm struggling with ants, but only in the summer. They seem to go away in the fall and the winter. So that's normal for ants. Ants usually are a problem in the summer and the winter. That's a normal thing. I mean, in the summer and the spring, because everything gets started and the ants start foraging for food again. Ants typically store 6 months' food inside their colony, and when they dip into those stores, like during the winter, they because they're hibernating, they don't technically hibernate, but they do slow up a lot of progress. They don't go out foraging for food. They stay in their nest and they eat the food that they've stored through the summer. And so as soon as spring hits, or even a warm patch of weather in the middle of the winter, it's almost like that's the first thing you see. The ants start coming up. The ants start getting in the house. They start crawling around and looking for food and water. And so they'll be real bad in the summer because they're trying to refill whatever stores they've used through the winter. And so they'll travel 24 hours a day, and they're way worse and they're way more active. And so it's a lot more difficult to keep ants away. But typically the way that I do ant control is I do a repellent around the outside, which I've got videos on this too, by the way. If you go check my YouTube channel and do a search for videos, you'll find that I actually have several videos on ant control and how to control ants. And you can learn, like I said, how to get rid of ants on your own, and the chemicals that I use, and links to all that stuff always. So if that's something that interests you in trying to, eliminate your ant problem, I've always had ants every house I've ever lived in. And since I started using Alpine on the inside and the exterior, I use repellents around the outside of the house, I haven't really had an ant problem at all anymore. In fact, this house right here, I bought in July of 2020, and it had carpenter ants when I moved in. In fact, every tree in the yard had carpenter ants. And so we treated all the trees in the yard, treated the house, it killed the ants, got rid of the problem, and I haven't had any since. So HP Lifestyles, are bed bugs becoming resistant to neonicotinoids? So I actually got an article that someone sent me on my YouTube channel. So I don't allow, there's a couple of things I don't do with YouTube. So I read every single comment. My YouTube channel, I have every video from like 3 years ago, every single video that uploads, all the comments are blocked. No comment is allowed on any video unless I've read it first. And the reason I had it set up this way is because I'm trying to be professional, and a lot of people will come on, they'll say rude things, they'll just be flat out just nasty people. I've had really horrible comments. I've had people come in giving advice that's actually really bad advice. I had one guy talk about spraying pesticides all over their clothes and stuff to get rid of bed bugs, and that's just not what you do. And so in order to try to keep things a little more orderly, I monitor every single comment that goes through. I do not allow links to be posted in any kind of so if you're coming along, you want to share a link with me, you can do that. That's fine. It won't get shown under the comments in a video. And the reason I do that is because I don't like people phishing scams. People get their identity stolen that way. People get their passwords stolen that way. And I just don't want any kind of that going on. And so I will look at the link. If you find an article that's really interesting to you, I have no problem. If you want to go post it on one of my videos, I will go and read it, which I did. One of my YouTube followers actually sent me a link to an article about neonicotinoids and the resistance of bed bugs. And it is true. It actually is something that's happening. Bed bugs are starting to develop a resistance to neonicotinoids. Now, one of the neonicotinoid family is Temprid. So Temprid is something that I've talked about for about the last 3 years, and I don't advise people to use Temprid because I noticed a resistance to imidacloprid back 3 years ago. It just, the bed bugs weren't dying from it anymore. It wasn't as effective. And so I usually don't recommend to use Temprid at all because it is a neonicotinoid. It is a very effective pesticide for lots of things like ants and other bugs, but not for bed bugs. It's not something I recommend for the control of bed bugs because the bed bugs have started to develop an immunity to it. Now, Crossfire is also a neonicotinoid along with Alpine WSG. And Alpine is something that they have found that bedbugs are starting to develop an immunity to Alpine, just like Crossfire. I mean, not Crossfire, but just like Tempered. I personally have not noticed any bedbugs developing an immunity to Crossfire. I've been using Crossfire for 4 years. I haven't used it for a long time. It hasn't been around for a long time. But one of the reasons that, from my understanding, that MGK started to produce Crossfire is because the bedbugs started to develop an immunity to Bedlam. And Bedlam is also an MGK product, and so they started to develop Crossfire. Crossfire has 3 active ingredients, one of which being probronyl butoxide. And probronyl butoxide, so just to give you a little bit of a biology kind of a lesson on what this chemical actually does to a bug. So bedbugs, fleas, roaches, other types of bugs have a chemical in their body that makes, and I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible so people understand, but there's a chemical in their body that they produce naturally that gives them an immunity to pesticides when they're first hatched out of an egg. German roaches are especially, like, so if you go into a house, if you're a pest control technician and you're treating a house for cockroaches and you're trying to get rid of a cockroach infestation and you're there for a couple months, and you'll notice that when you go, you no longer have any adults, you just have babies. The reason this is because the baby cockroach has more of that chemical in their body that helps them to develop immunity to pesticides. And so what probronyl butoxide does is it eliminates that chemical in the bug. So roaches, you can use it. So it used to be that you had to add it as an additive to your pesticides. Zinprox has probronyl butoxide in it, and it's an additive to a chemical. So what you do is you mix your Alpine, and then you mix you add to it, to the already mixed chemical, you add Zinprox. And what that does is it causes that chemical to, I've been in houses where I was using, say, Demon Max, which is cypermethrin, which most roaches are immune to cypermethrin now. It's been around for 50 years. It's a very old chemical. It's a synthetic pyrethroid, a very old synthetic pyrethroid, and most roaches are completely immune to it. But I've actually gone in, added Zinprox to the tank, and the Zinprox mixed with the cypermethrin actually kills the roaches again. It turns the chemical into something that actually will work to kill roaches. And it does the same thing with bed bugs and fleas. So I don't think, and that's one of the actives in Crossfire. And so this is why I believe I've had such good success with Crossfire, and I'm not running into so many problems with like chemical resistances and stuff like that, is because of the way the chemical is formulated. Now, there are some people out there that are claiming resistance to Crossfire. I haven't seen it. I don't think it's there. I don't think it exists. Not yet, at least not in Virginia. And I go all over the state. I deal with people out of Northern Virginia, D.C. area. You get all the traffic from, Dulles Airport, Reagan Airport. You've got the whatever it is right over the border in Maryland, that major international airport. And so there's 3 international airports there. They get all kinds of traffic through D.C., and I'm not having that kind of resistance. That's the area that I typically notice the most resistance is when you get into areas where there's just a heavy concentration of people. Charlottesville and Northern Virginia are, lots of travel, lots of, UVA is in Charlottesville, so lots of people go into UVA. They go to the football games and stuff like that, basketball games and everything, and so you have lots of travel all around those areas, and I just haven't noticed a resistance at all. So, and that's personal with Crossfire. I haven't noticed a resistance. Now, I've had people on my channel that have used Crossfire that have had problems getting rid of their bed bugs. And I think it's mostly misuse. I think it's either not mixing it correctly, trying to mix it either too strong or too light of a mixture, and they're not following the label. And they're not treating all the places that they should treat, or they're not patient. Because Crossfire is a chemical that doesn't kill the bed bug right away. People expect this because it's a good chemical. It's a great chemical. It works really well, and I talk about it all the time. But the way Crossfire works is it is a 5-minute pesticide. So what it means is that when you spray a bug, it takes it 5 minutes to die. It doesn't die instantly. It dies over a period of 5 minutes. If you take Raid and you go psh, and you spray a roach, it kills over dead right there in front of you because it's got ingredients to kill it immediately. But Crossfire does not do that. Crossfire takes like I said, between anywhere from 3, 4, 5 minutes to die when it's wet. When it's dry, it takes as much as an hour or 2 for a bedbug to crawl through it and die. So what's happening during this amount of time is that bedbug is crawling over other bedbugs. That bedbug is communicating with other bedbugs, and it's spreading the crossfire around, which is what you want. You don't want the bug to die, because the way that crossfire works is it works not only through contact, but it also works through transference. So when the bedbugs go back and communicate with each other, they spread it around. And so the bedbugs that aren't needing a blood meal, that aren't coming out and biting you, because they only bite, like the nymphs only bite once a week. So they may not need a blood meal. They may have had a blood meal before you treated. And so those active adult bedbugs that are going back and communicating with nymphs, they're spreading the crossfire around. So you don't necessarily want them to die right away. But people will buy it, and they will assume that the crossfire is going to absolutely kill their bedbugs all 100% right away. They're all going to die, and it's going to be just some kind of a magic pill. But it's not that way. It does take several weeks for all of the bedbugs to die off, but then they're gone. You know, the point is you're breaking the life cycle. The adults can't lay eggs because they die before they lay eggs, and then it's the end of your problem. So you just have to be patient and give it a couple weeks to work, and then all the bedbugs will be dead. So that was a long explanation to a question about neonics, but I wanted to get all that out of the way and explain exactly how Crossfire works for those that were curious, because I get these questions all the time. James says, for a bedbug preventative, you treat baseboards, couch legs, box springs, right? Yep, that's right. That's what I do. Danielle says, I've seen TikTok videos of landlords where their properties are legitimately overrun with bed bugs. I mean, every square. Yeah, I've seen it. I've been in houses like that myself, where every single square footage is full of bed bugs. It's really crazy. Tish says, thank you for covering this. I'm the one who sent the link. Oh yeah. So you're the one that sent the link. Yeah. I thought that was you. I was gonna read it verbatim, the article, but I thought it was easier just to synopsis, and that way I don't have to pull it up. Like I said, I don't know how much time I have tonight. Usually, last week I only had like 45 minutes, and so I'm trying not to spend too much time, because like I said, the baby's brand new, and I like babies. You know, I want to spend time with the babies while I can, while they're still babies. And you know, he's already 2.5 weeks old, starting to lift his head and look around, and you know, and they're only babies once. And you know, I told my dad this one time when my daughter was 2, and he's like, why do you go on vacation for like a week? And I'm like, because she's only 2 once. You know, you got to spend some time with your kids when you can. So I'm not going to spend forever online tonight. I'm not going to be here like an hour and a half or whatever. I'm going to try to spend as much time as I can, but we'll see what happens. So Patel says, have you tried Vendetta Nitro? Vendetta's great. I like Vendetta. That's the bait. I use Vendetta. What is it? Let me see. Vendetta bait. Vendetta Plus. I have not used Vendetta Nitro, but what is in it? Let me see. Vendetta Nitro. Oh, that's Crossfire as a bait. Look at that. I might have to try that. That's probably really good. That's probably really, really, really good. I'll tell you a story. So, let me show you what I'm looking at, y'all. So, because Patel asked me. Let me see here. Let me sing. All right, so this is Vendetta Nitro. This is a cockroach bait. It's got 4.5 stars on Do My Own. And just to show you, that's what it looks like. That's the bait. It's a little syringe, which is typical for baits. And when you look here at the active ingredient, it's clothianine and well, whatever that is. I butcher pesticide names. But if you go over here and you pull up Crossfire label, and let's see, let's pull the label. All right, see, there's clothianine right there. It's the same active ingredient. See, that ingredient and this ingredient right here is the same. Now, this is a 0.5%, and in Crossfire, it's a 4%. So this is much stronger. Crossfire is much stronger, but this is also being absorbed through the exoskeleton, so it needs to be stronger. Bait doesn't necessarily need to be that strong because it's eaten. The bug actually has to eat it. So I'll tell you a story. one of the very first long distance bed bug jobs I ever did, the guy had roaches. Now, he didn't pay me to kill roaches. He was paying me to kill bed bugs. But I treated the entire apartment for bed bugs. I treated every baseboard in the entire apartment. And I went 3 months in a row. I used Crossfire every time. And when I was done with the bed bug treatment on the third month, he didn't even have any roaches. So it killed every single bug in his house, not just the bed bugs. It also killed the roaches too, and that was the same exact active ingredient that's in Crossfire as this bait. So I am going to have to order some of that. I'm really interested in trying that out. I'm sure it works. If the roaches will eat it. If the roaches will eat it, I'm pretty sure it will work. This guy says, did you bill yourself for the bed bug removal? No, I didn't bill myself. I just had to kill them or my wife would move out. So I got to keep I guess if you want to talk about paying, I guess I got to keep my family around. Shauna says, can you treat bed bugs with ozone? No, you can't. People do, but it doesn't work. Mike Byer says, using Crossfire on my third month, just some dead nymphs, no adults around. How many months should I keep spraying until you stop seeing bed bugs? Check your automobiles. You may have infested your automobile. Most of the time, and almost every time that I go to a house that has a repeat problem month after month with bed bugs and they don't all die within the first or second visit, it's typically because of reinfesting from cars or friends continue to come and drop them off. And you may only be getting eggs if your friends don't have a severe infestation. They may only be bringing eggs in on like their clothing or their shoes. And so it takes about a week or so before you start seeing babies, because that's how long it takes for an egg to hatch. Within 7 to 10 days, the eggs are hatched. So if you're continuing to have problems and they're not all being eliminated, you may look at the sources of people coming in and out of your house and look into your car. You ought to probably treat your automobile if you haven't already. Because I have found that automobiles do get infested with bed bugs. It's very common. James Martin, bugs and their immunity. Yeah. Steven says Crossfire is banned in New York. So I have a video that I made for New Yorkers, and it's a very recent video. It's on my channel. So if you go to my channel here, it's youtube.com/greenacrespc. Tish says pandemic babies are a different breed. And so if you go down here and you look at my videos, my most recent videos, these are my uploads. These are my most recent uploads. So there's the live. That's where I'm live right now. There's my spider video. This is we found bed bugs in a hotel. This is my hotel video. And this is bed bugs show how a pest control tech. I should have actually just titled this, I found bed bugs in my home, because that's what this video is about. But if you scroll over here and you look, there's one, how to make repellents work. Well, the title of it on the screen, the thumbnail says how to make repellents work on bed bugs, but the title is Walmart spray for bed bugs, can it work? So I recommend, if you're from New York, go watch this video. In fact, let me see if I can copy the link.
Let's go help.
Let's see, share, copy, and I'll post it to the chat. I need to find the chat. Where is chat? There it is. And that's the video I made for people who live in New York and Canada. It's not titled New York and Canada, because whenever I title a video New York and Canada, no one ever sees it. If you go to my channel, there, let me show you. If you go to my channel right here, and you go look at, see this little magnifying glass right here. You click that magnifying glass and you type New York and press enter. There's New York and Canada. There's my video. I put this up 5 months ago, and it only has 668 views. I guess because YouTube sees it as, oh, he's trying to, I don't know, sell things in New York and Canada, which I'm not. I'm just trying to give you solutions. And then I've got finally a solution, Bedbugs Canada, New York solution. This was 2 years ago. It's only got 1.4K views. And if you go and look at my most recent videos, I've got this much views in just 2 days, in a video. So I don't understand why no one sees these, but I've tried. I post them all the time for New Yorkers and Canadians, and no one ever sees them. So, it's crazy, but how does YouTube algorithm work? Nobody knows. I don't even think the people that work at YouTube understand how the YouTube algorithm works. So, thanks. I just got the Nitro, was using Vendetta Plus, but decided to try another bait. I would love to know. You start using Vendetta Nitro, you let me know how it works, because that I am very interested to find out how that works. Come by, visit me every Thursday night, and let me know your progress and how things are going with your cockroaches, because I was actually looking. I've been using Vendetta and Advion in rotation for probably 6 years. Actually, I've been using Advion longer than that. I've probably been using Advion since it came out. But the Vendetta I started using about 6 years ago, and I really like it. The Vendetta Plus, which has the Nygaard in it, I actually really like that as a bait. But I've never used the Vendetta Nitro. It's a completely different chemical. So anyway, I'm just interested. I'm interested just to let me know. So, it's customers. Well, I have to text her back when I get a chance. Oh, here, I'll do it on this phone. This works. There we go. Always working. Always. 24 hours. People know they can text me anytime. I'll answer the phone. James Martin says, you mentioned when you treat for bed bugs, you don't require the customer to do a lot of work. What kind of prep is normal? Remove sheets, covers, comforters, bed clothing, all that stuff, mattress encasements, and that's it. That's all I require the customer to do. If they want to do more, they can. There are some people that have read, these crazy lists from different companies where you have to do all this prep work, and sometimes they just feel like they have to. But when you're using Crossfire, you don't really have to do a lot of prep, because, and this is what I have two bed bug jobs Sunday. It's the only time I had that I could do them, and so I'm working Sunday to do bed bug work. And I explained to the girl, she called me, and she's like, well, what do I have to do? I've read all these papers, I've read all these forums, I've learned that, well, I have to take everything out of my dressers, I have to take everything out of my closets, I have to take all these clothes to the laundromat and wash them and dry them. And she's like, I just don't have that kind of time or money or resources to be able to just do that. And I said, well, that's good, because you don't have to do that with Crossfire. I don't require that. I said, the thing is, though, is that a cluttered home it does make it more difficult to get rid of the bed bugs faster if there's a lot of clutter. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it takes longer to get rid of them. But I've gone into homes where they were extreme hoarding situations where the stuff is piled all around the bed, onto the bed, to the point where there's just enough room on a king-size bed for one person to lay there. And I've been able to get rid of the bed bugs. Now, I do make them take everything off of that bed, because I've got to treat that bed. But I've been in, these are cases where you've got like this much space to walk throughout the house. And there'll be stuff piled all the way to the ceiling, wedged in. And if you breathe wrong, you're afraid you're going to be in an avalanche of just junk. And I've been in these homes, and I've been able to treat these homes with Crossfire, and I've been able to eliminate the pesticide. The main thing is you need to make sure the Crossfire is where the person is going to be spending most of their time, whether it's on a lazy boy. Maybe they're sleeping on a recliner. Maybe they're not using their bedroom at all, but they're sleeping in a recliner. The bed bugs are going to be in the recliner. They're going to be near the recliner. They're going to be near the blood meal, because that's what they're feeding off of. So if you treat those areas and the bugs have to crawl through those areas to get to the food, basically what you're doing is you're using the customer, you're using the person or yourself or whoever as the bait of the trap. The bed bugs don't see Crossfire as a chemical. They don't know it's there. They continue to crawl through it, and they just die. It just works. So that's easy, because you're not changing the behavior of the bed bug in any way. They don't know what you've done. It's as if you never were there. And yet they still see the blood meal sitting right there on the bed or right there in the chair that they always travel to eat. And so they come out to bite you. They crawl over the treated surface because there's a residue that lasts for 30 days. So they crawl through it and they die. It works every time. It always works. And like I said, I've been in hotels, rent by the week hotels, where people just pile them up to the ceiling and it's just junk everywhere because they're trying to live. They're trying to take a household and put it in a room, a bedroom, and it's difficult. It's a lot of work. It takes you longer to do the job just because you have to move a bunch of stuff to do it. But I've been able to do it. So James says, wow, I did so much prep work, it looked like we were moving. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to do prep work. If people have gone to all the work, now I don't make the customer do it. I'm not going to require them to do that kind of stuff. But if they do, I'm not going to not treat the area. I mean, you can. Crossfire allows for the treatment of just about anywhere. And if they've gone to all the trouble to take the drawers out of their chest of drawers and stuff and pull out their clothes out, I treat those areas. It doesn't hurt to do it. I'm going to do it for them. But you don't have to do it. The point is that it's not something that's required to get rid of bed bugs. You can get rid of bed bugs with Crossfire without having to do all that work. Kenju says, I wish I knew about Crossfire sooner. I got rid of my couch recliner, bed, cat tree, even tore up all the carpet. And see, that's another thing too. A lot of people will call me and they'll say, well, I've got my room and it's full of carpet. What do I do? Do I need to tear the carpet up? Because the bed bugs are living in the carpet. That's not true. Bed bugs will live in hardwood floors. Bed bugs live on tile floors. Bed bugs live in carpeted floors, but they don't live in the carpeted area. So I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while. I'm going to do a drawing with Jason. So let's do paint. This is MS Paint because we're high quality here. So let me share my screen. So this is a room. All right, let's say this. Well, you know what? Let's be fancy. Let's be fancy and we'll draw a square. Perfect square. All right, let's say that's your room. Okay, and then this is your bed right here. Let's say you got a bed right there, and then you got some pillows. Let's say it's just one big huge body pillow because I'm lazy. All right, there's your bedroom. And then maybe you got a chest of drawers here and a dresser here, and there you go. And then you got your door. Let's see, let's do the door like old school, there we go. There's your door. All right. And you've got a throw rug right here, and maybe a hassock or maybe a little chest, like a clothing chest right there. So that's very nice bedroom. Very, very nice. You guys have a wonderful bedroom, lovely bedroom, beautiful bedroom. So this is your bedroom. All right. The bed bugs like to gather around here. Well, let's make that thicker. Let's see. Let's make that brush. Where's my brush? Let's change the size like that. All right. So the bed bugs like to live here. They like to live here behind the headboard. They like to live on the baseboards. Now, where they won't be is here. They won't be there. They're not going to be there. The reason they're not there is because it's in a... So let's say you're the dude. Let's see, this is going to be blue. We're going to use blue. So you travel through the door and you're like, do, and you walk across the room and you walk here and you get in the bed. All right? And there you go. Or maybe you sleep on this side of the bed. Maybe you walk this way and you go here. All right? So the thing is that because this is a heavy mode of travel, and even here, like let's say you go in here to get dressed, all right? There's your dresser. You're going to get dressed. Maybe you keep your underwear over here or something. All right? These are your main modes of travel. The bed bugs are not going to be in the path that you use regularly because bed bugs don't like vibration. They do not like heavy movement. They do not like vibration. So what they're doing is they're avoiding those spots. So they're not going to live in those spots. They're going to live on the bed. They're going to live like around your corners of your box spring, like here. You'll find them there. You might find them underneath your pillow, here. You might find them around the edges of your box spring. You might find them even on this hassock right here. You might find them right here on this hassock or inside it. Maybe it opens up and it's a chest and there's some living there. But it's still really close to the bed. And the main thing is that it's off of the floor. Bed bugs don't live on the floor. They live around the edges of the floor. So bed bugs, roaches, and other bugs like to crawl in cracks and crevices. Okay, so they're not going to want to be out in the open where they're easy to see or get rid of or visibly see them, so you step on them and squish them and kill them. They don't want that. They want to hide. Now, they might be under the carpet. Now, see, if they're living really bad in this hassock right here, they might be under this edge of this carpet. But just the edge. They're not going to be in the middle. They're going to be right along the edge where it forms a crack, where the carpet sits on top of the floor, right there. They're not going to be in the open. They're not going to be where people travel because they feel the vibration. When you step through a room, you create a vibration that they can feel, and they don't like that. So they try to get away from that. So they get up off the floor. The first thing that happens when you walk into a room and you drop bed bugs on the floor is they try to look for a leg. Like if you come in here and you're walking along and a bed bug falls here. Let's use a different color. A bed bug falls here. The first thing it does is it goes, oh, let's go underneath this carpet. Or, oh, let's go up on this leg here and get up on this hassock because that's getting me up off the floor where I feel safe. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to live in the open. So just because you have a carpeted bedroom or a carpeted room, any carpeted room, living room, whatever, they're not going to live in the carpet. They're not going to live in the area. They're not fleas. Now, fleas live in all these blue areas. They don't live so much around the baseboards. They live in the open area because fleas look for their host. They use vibration as a way to find their host. So when you walk through a room and they sense the vibration you create, they jump on you. That's what they do. They jump towards the vibration. So they want vibration. Bed bugs are the opposite. They like to be away from it. They're scared of it. And they only come out between typically 2 and 4 in the morning. That's when they do the most of their feeding, when you're asleep and you're less likely to move around because they're afraid of the movement. So they don't like that. So this is the biology, the natural biology of a bed bug is they are not going to be in any of these blue areas. They're going to be in the red areas only. They're not going to be on this X. Of course, I drew that with a red X, but they're not going to be there. They're going to be here, like around the edges of the carpet. So Galaxy Lover says, I think I have bed bugs in all of my property in my storage unit from other people. I have never had them, but there is powder in the unit next to me at the bottom of the door. I am scared. But have you found bed bugs? You know, just because there's powder, it could have been roaches. It may not be bed bugs at all. It might be roaches. Roaches are real common in storage units. Kenju says, I currently own one small plastic folding chair, air mattress, and a very broken psyche. Oh, wow, you're an artist too. Actually, I should show you some of my pictures I've drawn. I am an artist. But anyway, one night I have to bring out my sketch pad and let you see some of the stuff I've drawn. Let's see. Kartik Patel says, the thing about motels is so true. I own one, and since COVID happened, stopped renting weekly, monthly, and no bedbug complaints. Yes. But I'll tell you one thing about hotels. So this is the reason I switched to Crossfire in the first place, is because a guy out of Winchester, Virginia, actually told me to try it, that he'd been using it in hotels up there and it was killing bed bugs even a year later. Now that's not on the label. The label says 30 days, but that's pretty impressive if you ask me. Now this was 4 or 5 years ago, but that's pretty impressive. James says, thanks again, Jason. I'd probably still be getting bit and slowly going insane if not for your channel. Hey, no problem, James. I'm happy to help. You explained that really well. Do they go in closets often? Yes. So let's clear this. How do I do this? Let's see. File, new. Let's not save it because we don't need to. Don't save because I like to draw. So let's say you got a closet. Let's show you where they live in closets. So let's say this is your closet, and you've got, let's say you got dual doors. So you got the dual doors like this. And there you go. And then we got, let's do a little handle here, and a little handle here, because they're the sliding doors, the really annoying ones that everybody hates because they never work right. And so the places they like to live, if you've got those little hangers like this where the doors kind of hang and they float there, the bed bugs will be on the metal ridge along this edge right here. They like to live there. They like to live, of course, around the baseboards. If you've got baseboards here and here, they'll live there, like right here. And on the top, like behind the top of the baseboard there, they'll live around the door handles, different places like that. But typically, they live up around the top and around the baseboards. Those are the places they like to live in the closet. I'm wondering what bed bug poop looks like. Yeah, kind of looks like mascara. That's what it looks like. Little black ink spots. Yep, that's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. Let me see if I can pull up. I'm going to do, let's pull this over here. And let's look up my iCloud. I'm not going to do that on the big screen where everybody can see it because I don't want to show everybody my iCloud. But I will show you some pictures. Sign in. I got to give them my code. Let me allow. Oh, let's see. All right. And trust. Always okay. My TikTok probably froze really bad. Hopefully. Sorry about that. Anybody watching on TikTok, I had to do that with my phone. I had to get into my iCloud. But I want to show people pictures of bed bugs. So let me see what I got here. Let's see. Photos. Let's go with... Can I find it? Can I find a picture of some bed bugs? I should have pictures. I got tons of pictures of bed bugs. Lots of pictures of the baby. I want to see my baby. Let me show you my baby. Let's see if I can get that up here. Here is my baby. Oh, well. Let's save that. There you go. Those interested in seeing a picture of my baby. Let's see. Where that's Discord. That's not it. That's my baby. His name is Finley. So that's my new son. He's only 2.5 weeks old. That's him. If you're interested in seeing a picture of him and what he looks like, that is him. Little baby. But let me see if I can find. I'm still trying to find a picture here. Let's see. Where are my bedbug pictures? There they are. There's a good one. All right, download this one. There we go. All right. So there's some bed bugs for you. Isn't he, Jennifer? He is, isn't he? So here's the bed bugs. All right. Let's zoom in so you can see them real good. All right. So this here is an adult. This is a female. This is an adult. This is an adult. This is a nymph. So this is an adult here. This is their poop right here. So if we scroll out here, this is what their poop looks like. These little black dots. And if you smear one, it kind of looks like a black smear. Like, see how it's starting to smear here a little bit? And how this is really close up. This is a mattress, so you see like the cloth where they've been laid. It's like it's a really good picture, actually. That's actually really, that's a really good picture. Here's an egg right here. I don't know if you can see that too well. Let's zoom way in. That's an egg here. This is an already hatched egg. This is an unhatched egg. So you can see the difference. This has been opened and the bed bug is hatched out. This is one that hasn't hatched yet. It's not ready to hatch. Here's one that hasn't hatched yet either, right here. There's an egg there. So this is what they kind of cluster up together. And this is what I was saying. So you see how they're all clustered here. If you've got Crossfire, if just one of these bed bugs has come into contact with Crossfire and he goes through and he's crawling all over these other bed bugs, he's spreading it to everything here. All these bugs here are getting into contact with the chemical. And I actually took this picture myself. So, on the job. I sprayed with Crossfire about 40 days ago. Haven't seen any live ones since. 45 days ago, I just found one before I sprayed. That's pretty good, Olivia. That's good news. So, let's see. Any reason to use a machine with shockwave after putting down Crossfire? No, that you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that at all. Just Crossfire is all you need. Honestly, there's a lot of different things you can use for the control of bed bugs. You know, you can use, you could use dust. You can use fog. you can use Crossfire. There's lots of different tools, and people have actually criticized me because a lot of the newer jobs that I've done, I don't even use dust anymore. I don't take the outlet covers off. I don't dust in the wall. I just don't do any of that like I used to. And the reason being is because one reason you dust in the wall is because if you're using repellents, typically you will chase bed bugs into the wall depending on how well you treat. And so, meaning that you get everywhere and the only place they feel that they have to hide is in the wall. And so then you dust the outlets. You take the outlet cover off and you dust the outlets, so they really have nowhere to hide. I stopped doing that. When I started using Crossfire, I stopped treating in the walls because, I stopped dusting in them anyway because there was no reason to really do it. You're going to get rid of your problem with Crossfire because of the way Crossfire works. You're not trying to chase the bed bugs away. You're not trying to run them all over the place. You're just trying to lure them out and do what bed bugs do best, which is bite you, let them crawl over the bed and die. So I have been seeing black smudges, but I think it's my mascara. I can't tell. The thing is that if you've been getting bit, the black smudges is dried blood. So what they do is they bite you and they poop out blood. That's what they're doing. But they tell you if you poop black, it's because you have blood in your stool and you need to go to the emergency room and find out what is wrong and where you're bleeding internally. And so because bed bugs feed on human blood, that's the color poop they have. It's black. And so if you're not getting bit and you're not exhibiting any kind of blood spots, if you're getting bit, one of the things that will happen is, so bed bugs bite you, it's an anticoagulant. So you'll bleed a little bit. You'll free bleed so they can feed. But then when they fall off and they need to go bite again, sometimes you'll free bleed from that spot and you'll get little blood spots, actual red blood spots, because you're bleeding on the pillowcase. Just like if you were to have like a nosebleed or something like that in the middle of the night, or maybe scratch yourself and bleed on your pillow, it's kind of like that. And so you'll have these little spots of blood where the blood has dried up. You won't just have the poop stains, you'll have blood too, typically. And I think that's Finley there. Is that Finley? Yeah. Yeah, that's Finley. I'm going to have to go. I've been on here for an hour now, and I really was on here longer than I probably should have been because I need to go up and help with the baby. But if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I know there's like 22 people in here right now. I don't know how many people have liked the video or disliked the video. Usually Jennifer hops on people and says, hey, there's this many people. Y'all got to like the video. And so she hasn't been saying it tonight, so maybe y'all been doing a good job. I don't know. But anyway, follow me. Take a look at my channel. Go find my videos. I've got, let's see, how many videos do I have now? Oh, crap. I have a lot. It is a lot of videos. I don't even know how many videos. I've got so many. But anyway, you could find pretty much any video on any kind of bug problem you've got on my YouTube channel. For those on TikTok that are watching, be sure to follow me on YouTube and stick around. But I'm sorry I can't do any more than what I've done tonight, but I got to go help with the baby. So y'all have a really great night. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, I've got a Discord link in the chat below, in the description of my video. I do have Discord. You're welcome to join a Discord. It's basically like sending me a text message. I get the messages all the time. I typically always respond to Discord. And Discord I like because everybody can kind of read the history and they know how I've been helping with problems. So if you have the same problem someone else has, your answer is probably already there. And I've got a good community that we've developed on Discord. A lot of people already know the answer to the question. So even if I don't get to you, somebody will. So anyway, y'all have a really great night, really great week. Sorry for the lack of videos. I just haven't had a lot of time to make any. But y'all have a great night. Hopefully by Tuesday, I'll have another video up for you. And so Tuesday's when I do my normal videos. Thursday's when I do my live streams. So I will see you next week. Y'all have a great night. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you don't get bit by